This day in history, February 16th, Fidel Castro became Prime Minister of Cuba in 1959. Castro was the military leader of the revolution, and becoming Prime Minister marked his political takeover of the government. We've always been taught that's when Cuba became communist. Not so. In 1952, a US organized coup made Batista president. This spawned three main resistant groups to unite and revolt, one being socialist, not Castro's M26-7 rebel group. Batista was overthrown and the rebels appointed anti-communist Manuel Urrutia president. He immediately began reforms that included elections. Castro then became prime minister, eventually pushing Urrutia out. Castro initially asked the US for help, but then Cuba nationalized all US-owned property in 1960. The US responded by cutting all ties to Cuba and launching the failed Bay of Pigs invasion. Worried the US was gunning for him, Castro reached out to the Soviet Union. Moscow, only too happy to use Cuba as a missile base, propped up the Cuban economy. Thus, in 1965, Castro formed the Communist Party of Cuba, a disaster for the Cuban people ever since.